So why are you supposed to mess up one of my clean cup with your dirty?
So he said, if you want what's in this kettle to remain pure and clean, you got to start working on cleaning your mind so you can be a vessel of nice receptivity. Because if I give you this food that I want to give you, in that mind that you come with right now, it's going to be contaminated.
I think that's so profound that it bears repeating. Like we say in the dance, all and pull up.
All and pull up, my youth. You know, so we got to work on the mind. And the mind uses these senses as its sensory things to bring information to it. That's how the mind works.
So the teacher, the story is the teacher in a nutshell. There was somebody who came to a teacher looking for wisdom.
Yes.
And the teacher brought out a kettle.
A kettle.
And then gave him the wisdom in a
dirty cup.
A dirty cup.
Yes.
And the man said, what happened to you?
Yeah, man, you crazy?
What kind of teacher me?
Yeah, man,
teaching in a dirty. He said, no. Well, you came with a dirty mind. So if you want this kettle to really serve you, what's inside this kettle, you got to clean your mind first.
You got to clean your mind first.
So don't worry about if I give you a dirty cup. I'm not going to pollute my clean cup, my clean china them and make my wife go hang bad with me. And you come with a dirty mind in the first place.
Yes, sir. Respect. So, and that's what I mentioned earlier in a different way. I talk about the art of listening. The art of listening is like some in ancient times, sometimes when you go into teachings, man, you are not allowed to speak for 2 years. Don't even ask a question. Just sit down and listen. If you remember the ancient martial arts movies, when the students want to go into them kung fu schools and things, they never went into and get training right away. You used to see them with some bamboo, with some sticks with water, fetching the water up and down every day, and I got to peep through a hole to see something. You know what I'm saying? There is another myth, because teachings are revealed to us through myths. That's what the Bible is. The Bible is a set of myths, but present day teachers just interpret literally. Right. So there's another story that goes, this particular student met a teacher and he heard about this great teacher. This happened in Kemetic. And he said, man, I want to be a student. So the teacher said, man, come with me. And they were on a boat, they sailed, and they went to an island. And they were on the island, teacher teach him everything. He used to see the teacher every day taking this broomstick and say a few words, and this broomstick would start, okay, abracadabra, whatever, bring me some water. And this broomstick would go and bring water back and forth. And then any job, this broomstick. So one day, the teacher went out to town. And the student said, I'm going to try this thing, man. Teacher is now, I'm going to do it. Abracadabra. Broomstick come and start full up, bringing water. Yeah, man, nice. And he said, okay, stop now. The broomstick still keep coming. Stop now. The broomstick, because the teacher never told him, or he never heard the teachers gave them how to stop.
Abracadabra and stop is two different language, right? They don't come from the same, like the broomstick ain't speaking his language.
No. So you get upset, and you get something, you break the broomstick in half, bang! When you break the broomstick in half, 2 broomsticks start bringing more water now.
Wow.
So he said, I'm just fed up, and the whole house full up with water. Then the teacher came in, and he realized that the student was irreverent, and he just disappeared out of his life. So another thing, you're coming to the teachings, reverence, humility, because we especially in the conscious community, and I could talk from experience, when we start accumulating wisdom, we develop a sense of arrogance. Yeah, we know but this and know but that, and we think we're better than people, and all of that is crap, is nonsense. You know what I'm saying? You really want to be a receptive vehicle for the teachings or for wisdom, prepare your mind, cleanse the mind. Let me go back now to the 4 concepts of the personality before I forget. Emotion, will, intellect, action. The teachings has prescribed a tool for each one of these to help you to purify them. We start with meditation. Meditation purifies your willpower. It reinforces and strengthens your willpower. To purify your emotions, because emotions are the driving vehicle of the personality. Like love, like fear. Those are driven vehicles of the person. Those need to be purified. Because we not, for example, love. You love your wife, you love your brother, you love your parents, you love your girlfriend. That's not love. and then the same person who you love today do something you don't like, you don't love them to. So that's not love. That's filial love, right? That has that. So for that love to be magnified, your emotions have to be purified. So what purifies emotion? Devotion. Devotions to oneself and devotion using rituals. For example, if you have an altar in your home, that is what you would call a extroverted usage of components, of rituals, that essentially, ultimately, a ritual needs to become more internalized. So you start with an altar. Your altar got candle, incense, water, offering on it, right? That is initial offset of devotion. But when you sit at your altar represents a formal construct of applying devotional practices. When you get up from your altar, you go out into the world, that is when the informal practice of devotion kicks in, as well as meditation.
Everything else you're charging up.
Right. So the formal practice, even in meditation, you sit at your altar and you meditate, your formal meditation informs your informal meditation. Because when you go out into the world of time and space, you are still supposed to be in a formal meditation. Understand? Because you're interpreting your reality different than the average guy. You know what I'm saying? You're in tune with nature or whatever else. To purify your intellect, you use wisdom. Instead of looking at what we call love and hip-hop and the hillbillies or whoever program you look at, or reading Hardy Boys and Mills and Boons, you want to inspire your intellect with higher teachings, with whatever denomination you find yourself in. All right? And last but not least, and there's no last in none of them, your actions. And what has the Kemetic scriptures dictated to purify your actions? Ma'at.
A standard. And
a standard.
For those who are not aware of the principles of Ma'at, could you go over them?
The Ma'at, because most people listening, I know we have our Muslim brothers and sisters out there, but Ma'at in terms of the Christian understanding is what you call the Beatitudes, a principle for living a virtuous life. And not to say people are going to jump up tomorrow morning and be perfect. That's not it. But you need to be a work in progress, because there are different levels of understanding the principles of Ma'at. You can interpret the principle of Ma'at in a very secular and regular sense, a worldly sense. But then all teachings are perennial. All teachings are transcending physicality, because they're very active within the emotional state of the body and the spiritual state of the body.
And they apply realms and realms.
Exactly.
And realms. So
exactly.
Even though you learned a principle as a little boy, like myself, growing up in Buxton, I knew then that I can't sow callaloo and reap pak choy.
Yeah.
You reap what you sow.
Yeah.
However, still in life, time and time again, I had to see a different development.
That's right.
Understanding of the same principle.
That's right.
So it's not that I never knew it necessarily.
Yes. You knew it.
I knew it, but it's still I knew it according to my capacity.
Exactly.
So just to review, you mentioned the 4 powers, for lack of a better word, 4 tools, and then how to purify each one of them. So the first one, it wasn't emotion. The first one was not emotion.
Will.
The first one is your willpower.
Willpower.
And you purify that through meditation.
Meditation.
And then emotion is the second one. And you purify that through devotion.
Right.
And then the third one was, don't tell me.